Good morning, everyone. Thomas Fleming here again. Well, I've had a good weekend so far. So I'm doing this video just to kind of touch base and make sure that we're all on the right page, that we're all connected properly. You know, you ever get that feeling that maybe you're not as close to God as you should be? Well, where does that come from? What does it mean? It means that we're just not feeling like we are. And we know what our feelings can do. We know who can tamper with our feelings the best. So you don't worry about it. But I've got 5 steps to go through to make sure that you are properly connected. We already know that we are, but we don't feel it. So taking in our feelings, there's things that you can do to kind of push those back and have the confidence that we are still properly connected. So let's get into our study this morning. I am going to turning to Hebrews. Someday, when I can find it. Did I not mark it? I don't think I marked it. Okay, it's early and I haven't finished my cup of coffee this morning, so we're turning to Hebrews 13:5. I've got Hebrews here, so I just got to find 13. Okay, there we go. The first thing, number one thing on the list, is to acknowledge who God is. Once we know who God is, that's our foundation. We're going to reason our way through this. You may not feel it. You may still feel that we're not properly connected to God. It doesn't matter. Following these steps will reason your way back to feeling good. Okay, so 13:5. For he himself said, do I want to start there? Well, I'm kind of halfway through 5. 6 is where we're actually going, but we're going to start halfway through 5. For he himself said, we will never leave you nor forsake you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So start off with, as a Christian, got to be a Christian first to have any contact with God. But he'll never leave you or forsake you. So if you don't feel his presence, he didn't move. Maybe you didn't move either. You're just not feeling it. That's all. The Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? He's always there. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He knows everything that's going to go on in this timeline that we're in. And he's always going to be looking out for you. So if you don't feel it, it doesn't matter. He's still there. So the next step out of these 5 steps is to search your heart. Think about what you're doing, what you've said, what you've been up to. Is there anything that's a problem? If you can't find anything, still go through the daily ritual, our daily prayer. See, this is all covered in the daily prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, acknowledge who he is. Hallowed be thy name. That he is holy. We have to ask him to forgive our debts, just in case there's something that we're not aware of. You can still ask for forgiveness for anything that may have happened that you didn't know about. It's possible he asked you to do something and you didn't pick up on it. So let's turn to 2 Corinthians 5:14. Where are we? There we go. For the love of Christ compels us, because we judge thus that if one died for all, then all died. And if he died for all, that those who live should live longer for themselves. But he who died for them and rose again. So, he only has to die once, and he died for everybody. Okay, I got people coming in behind me. I'm going to pause this for a bit. Can't get them on camera. Okay, I'm back. I had to move from my location because they were boaters that were going to come up and unload like 5 boats. That was going to take them at least 20 minutes the way they were doing things. Lots of noise. Anyhow, I'm back at my campsite. So, and there we go. So let's continue on. Can't see out of glasses that are dirty. I think I picked up one of my old pair because these seem to be scratched more than my normal ones. So I'll have to go search around and find them. So we're going to turn now to John. We know who God is. We know what he wants to do. Now let's affirm what we're doing. So we're going to turn to John for that. John 10:27. Okay. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Neither shall anyone snatch them out of my hand. So we're never going to go anywhere, no matter what it feels like. You just have to convince yourself. Feelings are deceptive. God will never leave us or forsake us. Plenty of verses that will cover this. Okay, I'm making these next series of videos shorter. It seems like if I make a 30 to 40 minute video, people watch half of it. So I figure I'll just make short videos. Now if you watch half of that, we got a problem. Okay, so we're going to look at now, switch over to John 1:2. And this heading, this is 4. Accept your emotions for what they are. They can be deceptive. He was in the beginning with God. Talking about Jesus. And all things were made through him. Without him, nothing was that was made. In him we have life, and the life was the light of men. So that's who we're dealing with. We don't have to worry about reliability. We don't have to worry about faithfulness other than our own. So we never have to worry about how we feel. If he doesn't feel like he's there, he's still there, even if you can't see him. God is omnipresent. Satan's the only one that's not omnipresent out of our group that we're talking about. And lastly, if you don't feel like it, get yourself in the Word. Just permeate yourself with the Word. We're going to turn to Psalm 139. Unless I got sidetracked because I didn't mark these last 3 verses. Yeah, I know they're easy to get to, but there's no point in making you wait while we try to find them. So 139. And this looks like it's the whole psalm. How far does this go? That's not too bad. People going by. Said hello to them earlier when they walked by the other way and they just ignored me. You do your best. If people don't want to talk, they don't talk. Starting in verse 1, O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought afar off. You comprehend my path and my lying down. You are acquainted with all my ways. Who better can you rely on than somebody that fully understands you? For there is not a word on my tongue, but behold, O Lord, I know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before, laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. Somebody going way too fast. It's 20 miles an hour in here. Okay. Continuing on in verse 7. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? It's rhetorical. You can't. If I ascend into heaven, you're there. If I make a bed in hell, behold, you are there. He's already been there and took over. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uppermost parts of the sea, even your hand shall lead me. Your right hand shall hold me, and I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me. Even the night shall be the light about me. The bottom line is it doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what you think or feel. No. We have plenty of scriptures to tell us what we should know. Feelings can be very misleading. Yeah, we have them. Sometimes they're good, but sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they have no foundation. Test them. Okay. Till we meet in the clouds. God